2. All right, good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, July 13th. I think, if that makes sense. Tuesday, July 13th, whatever it is, Tuesday. And it is 6:32, so let's call the meeting to order. We have everybody except for Bob Sodoma and Dan Bossalt, and I don't see Joe Perry currently at the moment, although he may chime in a little bit later on. First and foremost, Dana, can I hand over to you for the minutes?
Sure. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns about the minutes?
Nope.
Look good to me. This is Chris. Look good.
Awesome.
No money.
All right. I guess can I get a
will.
motion, or do I'm going to leave that part to you, Stu? That's your part.
Yeah, let's go. Go ahead.
So I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes from June 17th, 2021.
I make that motion.
All right, so I've got one from Ed. Can I get a second? I see Rachel's hand go up there.
Yes.
Is there any discussion about them? Any further discussion? All right. All in favor? Say
Aye.
All right. And Chris, just because you have your camera off, is that an affirmative?
Yes, that's affirmative. That's an aye.
Perfect. Thank you very
Yeah, I'm
much.
driving. I'll put my camera on a second. I'm just driving back from work.
Yes, please don't die. That would be bad.
I don't want
Yeah,
anybody to get seasick.
Right. Moving on to Treasurer's Report. Rachel, is there anything that we need to be aware of, anything you want to share with us?
We are now in a new fiscal budget that is still to be determined. Very few, but a few new invoices have come in. I don't have a formal report to send out. I will put that together and send it out to the committee, and I'd like to do a fiscal year end as well. So we'll be able to see exactly where did the prior fiscal year end for June 30th. And I know we still may have some things trickling in, but we'll get that out, and just a few invoices right now for mainly beach supplies.
Cool.
I do know that there will be a couple of expenditures related to summer camp, just getting it up and running. Shirts, as an example, the staff shirts have been ordered, so we'll have those in. And then I think we have a fair amount of supplies to begin with, so I'm not too worried about that. And Kate, who you'll get to hear from in a minute, I have been connecting about that. So I think we're going to be good. And yeah, so all good, all good. All right. Any questions for Rachel? Comments? Thoughts? All right.
No questions.
None.
Nope.
Great job. As always.
Thanks.
All right. So facility use request, we only have one from John Cordero for the Megan L. Cordero. It's from the Megan L. Cordero Memorial Foundation. I don't see John on the call or in the waiting room. It is the annual bicycle ride and walk to benefit their foundation. Walk will be on the Town Farm track. Ride will start and finish at Town Farm North entrance. Event will include a ride walk cookout style meal. Setup will be at 6:30 and will be broken down and cleaned by 3:30. So I did look at the schedule, and it appears that Tiverton Tiverton Soccer has the fields, the upper fields that they're requesting reserved. So I reached out to Brent, who's the president of Tiverton Soccer, and while they are very supportive of it, they do have a camp going on. So two thoughts here, and we can dive into discussion afterwards. We actually, before the Town Farm playground was open, we mowed, I guess the southern part is the northern part, whatever's the part over by the tennis courts, that back area to create overflow parking. So it's shorter grass now, and you can actually park and walk. So we could potentially say that there is a designated area that they could have. We can also put in potentially a stipulation that says, pending all, like we normally do, all approvals and confirmation by Tiverton Youth Soccer that space is available, right? So we've already approved it, just flat out, the Tiverton Youth Soccer has that, but I do know that they want to be accommodating. So I offer that up for discussion. So what I'd like to do at this particular time is I'll entertain a motion to accept it, and then a second we'll have discussion. So could I entertain a motion to approve the special event request from the Megan Cordero Memorial Foundation to use the Town Farm upper fields on September 25th from 6:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. pending all, Rachel, you always say this part very, very well. What's the part I'm looking for? It's like all required review.
Sure, you're putting me on the spot. I would say pending approval from the town council. It's an event, so it'll need town council approval. And pending confirmation that there is not going to be a conflict with the existing soccer league. Danny, you got that all?
Pretty much.
She
Yeah, this-
does it oh so well.
She does.
Oh, Rachel, you do.
Well, now Stu reminded me of the video, so if I do miss it, I just go back and watch it.
Go, girl.
Right.
Stu, I'd like to make that motion.
Very
Reset.
I've got a motion from Ed. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, Rachel seconds. Any discussion?
I'm okay with it.
John did reach out to me yesterday about attending the meeting, so I'm kind of a little surprised that he's not here. Normally, from past experience, and I think most of you guys might remember this, he usually has this all worked out with Tiverton Youth Soccer. Like they
Yes.
always tell him, no matter what, you've got the day, we'll make other arrangements. So I just sent him a text and I haven't heard from him. I don't know if I'm just putting that out there, that normally he has all this stuff worked out with them. So I'm a little surprised that they were kind of balking at it.
They weren't, to be clear, they weren't blocking it. So when I connected with Brent, his first comment was, we'll always give a priority to John. And he said, I'll talk to my board about making plans. And then the follow-up was, we have a soccer camp going. We're there from 9 to 4. We had it on our calendar. Just don't want them to show up, then it'd be an issue. So it sounds more like they're just going to need to coordinate. I don't get the read that there's an objection to it.
Okay.
Good point, though. Really good point. Any other discussion?
I'd like to ask one question, Stu, and I believe I believe I was dead on with Phil. Phil being in maintenance. There was a sign on town property as far as promoting. I believe there's a function coming up the 24th or the 25th of July. And I can't remember why now. All of a sudden I got this mental block. But anyway, did the town you have to have town permission from the council and or Chris in order to put a sign to promote an event. Am I correct or incorrect?
I believe you are correct.
All right, there was a couple of signs at Grinnell's Beach today. And Phil said to me, and I said, Phil, as far as I know, that as long as you have consent from the town council and or Chris Carter, because obviously he communicates with the council, that's a yes that you have permission, but it's a no because obviously it's town property. You just can't stick signs anywhere you want. And so he took the sign off, and I said, I'll mention it to the rec committee tonight. And if I'm incorrect, I will get in touch with you tomorrow and tell you put the sign back. But I don't believe we're incorrect on that. And it's a standing order. Let's put it that way. It's just a standing order. But thank you for reiterating that, Stu, and making that I concurred with Phil that yes, take the sign out. And he's got it at the DPW, I believe. He kept it there in the office. So
yeah, there's a couple of signs that have started appearing at Town Farm in particular, and regardless of what your view on whatever's being posted, I know that there was one for the group that's been working in the discussion about the oyster farms. There was one for a barber shop there. There have been a few others. It's the approval process for it. I will confess I don't know enough, although I think that probably has to go through the town council if you're putting signs on town property. But yeah, hopefully people are more respectful, but I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what I can, if I may, I know there's a limit on even the number of signs that you can put up around town for events, because this came up with the other the run that you approved the other week for Grinnell's Beach.
Yep.
Courtney Roderick.
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 And so the sign ordinance does limit the number, and I don't think we have any ordinance that allows signs to be on town property at all. So
Okay.
but I'm looking, but
Well, what I did was I said to Phil, I said, let's err on the side of caution. If I'm incorrect, I'll be the first one to run down to DPW and put the sign right back at Grinnell's. And that's what you were talking about, Jenna, was just that run, I believe it is, or bike or whatever, I can't remember. But I said, Phil, I'll be the first one to run down and put it back up. But I said, I'll mention it at the committee meeting tonight because heck, everybody would be covering the town property with signs galore, you know, and that's not what we're about. But anyway, if I'm wrong, I'll go out there tomorrow morning and put it up.
And something we might want to look into, and I'm thinking about as you're talking, is at the bigger recreational areas. So I'm thinking Pecasset, Bulgamarsh, Grinnell's, Foglin, Town Farm. Look at, could we have community boards that as part of an approval, recreation has the authority to add something up there. So it's a designated spot only for approved events.
Correct.
And we would
That's an
probably
excellent idea.
Yeah.
might have to change the ordinance. I have to look at and maybe change the ordinances to allow us to do that. But it would give people like John the ability to post something.
Cool. Excellent.
Good comment, though. Thank you.
Oh, that's what we do. If I had to bring up every question asked to me walking the beach, it's unbelievable.
I appreciate you not.
Yes, thank you. I will not.
Are there any other comments, questions, or discussion points before we vote? All right. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I heard Chris say aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? All right. It carries. I will inform John that he's good to go pending discussion with Tiverton Youth Soccer. All right. We did not have anybody reach out for public comment at this time, so we'll keep moving. I am very excited to introduce Kate Jones, who will be joining us this summer as the Parks Coordinator. Rachel and I both had the good pleasure of interviewing her earlier this year, and she and I have been connecting almost daily at this point about setting up camp. Kate, would you mind just saying hello and a couple of comments about who you are and your background?
Hi, my name is Kate Jones. I'm a secondary education major at University of Vermont, and I'm minoring in human development and family studies. My dad's the chief of police. I feel like you have
No.
a big conception of who I am. I've always been working with like kids at some point, and I thought this would be a really good job, and I'm really excited about it and to work with the kids and work with all of you.
Welcome,
Hey.
Kate.
Welcome.
Outstanding. Welcome aboard.
Kate, I
Welcome.
gotta say this. Yes, welcome. Your dad leaves an impression with the town, and if you're not just like him, just an eighth, it's just going to be fabulous. So, congratulations, good luck, and you'll do a fantastic job.
Thank you, Will.
And something that I want to stress really heavily, when Rachel and I both interviewed her, I think, and Kate, I'll say this to you directly, we walked away really impressed with your background and I think what you're going to be able to do from a curriculum standpoint. And so while I think there's a common respect for your dad, we're very excited that you are here and you know, you applied, went through the personnel board and got the job on completely your own merits. So very excited with that.
Yep.
You know, you get to work with him on all the logistical and legal stuff
Oh,
separately.
yeah.
So very cool.
True. I think anybody that spent a few minutes talking with Kate is going to be just impressed by her herself.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Kids are going to have fun too. So.
Yeah.
Yes, there's the
Kate, I know we're sort of early on in the scheduling. We opened registration online yesterday. Is there anything in particular that you feel like the commission needs to know about what's going on with summer camp so far? And if not, that's fine. I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
I don't think so. I've kind of sent out like basically like a time of like what we're doing during the day, and I've already like stressed out the idea of like if a kid doesn't want to participate in the activity, they are completely okay with doing that. We'll always encourage them to join, but if they really don't want to, then they can just kind of do whatever they want. The autonomous part of the camp is what I kind of want to stress.
Excellent.
If for some reason somebody's watching, the link to the registration for summer camp is online. You can also access it from tivertonsummercamp.org. And right now, I think there are about 20 people that have registered.
Oh, awesome.
and Online
That's
and in person,
awesome.
18 to 20, somewhere in there. So good numbers. I think we're maxing out at 70 this year if we get to that. So,
That's great news.
yeah. Moving forward. I unintentionally did these, let's see, where are we here? Introduction. So general business, we kind of covered summer camp updates, but Melissa, for Beach, do you want to give us an update on how things are going?
Hi, everyone. The beaches are going good, I think. I have an awesome staff. The kids have been wonderful. I really have a great group of kids, I have to say.
Nice.
The beaches, the only thing that's been a little bit rough is we've kind of changed the rules here and there, like paying, not paying with the lifeguards. So some people have not liked that at all. So the kids have kind of gotten the brunt of that. But I think we have that taken care of now. We have basically no lifeguards at this point. So that's obviously not good. But our last lifeguard just quit to go to another job. We have one, but she's extremely part-time. So she's working, I think, one more day this month and maybe like a couple days in August. That's it. And our other lifeguard, it wasn't exciting enough for her. So she decided to get another job. So that's really it. I mean, there's been no issues at the beach.
Nope.
Ed's always there. Josh is always there. The lifeguards are a big issue, but I think it's an issue everywhere. There is no, you can't make anyone be a lifeguard. So I don't know what else we can do about that. But other than that, everything's been good. These kids are like awesome kids. They are eager to work. They're eager to help. I mean, they've been great.
I went down to Foglin today in Grinnell, and I will say, Melissa, that the kids were very what's the word I want? In tune, but they were very regimented. That they were checking, make sure toiletries, making sure there were no running water and stuff like that at Foglin and at Grinnell. So, and Phil was there too, cleaning the bathrooms. Even Phil said that he put new toilet. I know I'm discussing it, but he put new toilet seats. And in fact, one of the ladies, I had gone there and she had come out. She goes, "Ooh, there's new toilet seats." And I happened to catch it and I went, "Yep, we just want to make sure everything's comfortable for our beach goers." She laughed a little bit, but they're very in tune, so yeah. Big kudos to you with the kids. It means a lot, and when I'm there, I'm there to support them, but every once in a while you go, "You guys checked, right?" And they say, "Oh yeah, we did." So.
Yeah. There's been a few cars at Foglin that will literally just drive by the gate attendants.
Yes.
It seems to be on the weekends when poor Judy's working, one of the older ladies that we have. They literally will just drive by her and they don't care. There's been a few of those, but Ed or Josh will go down and handle that.
Well, I'll tell you, Melissa, if you get the plates and while they're driving by, then we'll approach the individuals and, depending on how the outcome is and how it goes, I know the chief will support us that, "Oh, I didn't see," and all the excuses that can come up, but we'll handle that, not the kids. Don't let.
Oh, no, none of the kids. I won't allow the kids to go down. They're not going down. Judy's an older woman. I mean,
I'll let her go.
I've told her not to. She's on her own, but no, I would never let the kids go down.
Yeah. You're on your own. Yeah.
No, she just, I can't tell her what to do.
No, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, the alarms, I called Stu today because the alarm went off at Grinnell's and I didn't know what it
Oh,
was.
yes.
But the tank's almost over full, so they're going to do something about that.
Yep.
Comes with the territory. Now that we have new toilet seats,
Yeah. Everybody's
They're too
everybody
comfortable.
wants to sit. Yeah.
Well, I know Bob is not here. I did want to mention, he and I had connected, and Melissa was on a thread about when we get into the off season, looking at some of the ordinances and things like the hours that the beach is open. An idea that he had that I really liked was establishing, potentially having outdoor fire pits that could be set, and then people could have firewood that is either purchased through a vendor or could be brought. We'd have to look at that, and obviously work with the proper authorities. So the plan of attack on that, as well as for general debrief, is to wait until we get into September, probably have a working group that sits down and reviews how the season went, and then figure out what we want to look at going forward and address that in the fall. I don't think it's going to be just a 1 month process, but I also, I think we're at the point right now where, as Melissa said, we just need to kind of make sure we're moving forward and not changing more things. So Bob's been great about giving some suggestions on how those ordinances can work. And it's going to be good. I think that the fall is going to have a really interesting and lively discussion for what we can be doing in the future. And, Melissa, thank you for helping us really build a good foundation this year with a lot of it.
Yes.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
I have a question. I'm sure if anybody's on Facebook, they've seen that people are complaining that the gate isn't open on days that we've closed the beach due to weather. Now, I always thought that it was the police that was opening and closing the gates at Grinnell's, because obviously there's no gate at Foglin. But Sarah actually messaged me last night and was telling me that it's actually our responsibility to open the gates on a day that we close the beach due to weather.
So it was
So
my
I was
mistake yesterday. I didn't realize it. I thought every other day we've closed, the police have opened it. And I guess for some reason they didn't yesterday. So I think I made the mistake. I will not entertain anyone on Facebook. I saw it, but I'm not responding to anyone on Facebook. So
No,
I think
that's fine.
it was my mistake yesterday. I was probably supposed to go open it and I made the mistake. Going forward, I'll go down and open it.
No problem. I just wanted to clarify.
They always did every other
I
time.
thought it was the police that should have been doing it. And then Sarah was like, no, that should be us. And I was like,
They did every other time. So
right.
I didn't. And then I guess they didn't. So I
Well,
think it was my mistake.
Okay. And Melissa and I did connect on this yesterday when it came up and sorted through it. I think it was just a miscommunication on it because the beaches were closed from a gate attendant standpoint. Otherwise, somebody would have opened it. And so Chief Jones and I had also discussed it earlier on this year. And I think some folks had commented that, like, well, the beaches are always open. Well, the reality was the police had been opening it at 6 a.m. and closing it at 10 p.m. So I think it's a matter of just ironing out some of the kinks, and we're in a good spot with it going forward. But I saw that too.
Well,
So it must be the police that are closing it because, okay.
Yep.
Well, Melissa, I don't even know if this is something you could do. Instead of you having to go down there, could we just call the police and have like the special, what does he call it? Special officers? Is that what you guys are called, Ed?
hey, are you going to call me special?
No, I don't mean that.
No, but yes, we're
well, I mean, could you just call the station and be like, hey, we're not opening the beaches today because of, the weather. Is there any way somebody could swing by and open the gate instead of you having to actually go down there?
Yeah. Well, I can assure you this much. It has happened. And I said, I'll go down there. When it's a rainy day, we still have some Tivertonians and that like to go down there and sip their tea or coffee or whatever and go down there and watch the raindrops hit the hood. So if they want to count them, that's great. And I've gone down there and opened the beach up, the gates. Also, both Josh and I close them at 10 o'clock on the weekends and even during the week when we're on duty. So if it's either Josh or myself, we help out the officers that are patrolling the streets to take that task on and close the gates. So yes, but I do believe that if we are and have the beach opening, the gate attendants that are getting there at 9:15, it gives us a better control in who collects, who gets charged and who doesn't. That's my opinion, and I know majority rules, but for the people that like that 7 a.m. sunrise or 6:10 sunrise, well, what can I tell you? It's just, we're opening. It's just a matter of, it's a better control, I think, for us to say, oh, you're out of state. Okay, that's 10. Versus, they go in there at, say, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. How do you say leave? You don't, So, anyway, just my point.
Yeah. And I'd also offer, I think what yesterday was a bit of or that day was a bit of an anomaly. It really just came down to, it was a day that we weren't charging, but the beaches still need to be open. And that's where I think the miscommunication came up. And,
Okay.
Every other time, I think you're absolutely right, Ed. The Gatorton's been really good about that. I also live pretty close and can swing down if you ever need, like, if you guys.
It wasn't a big deal. I could have went and opened it. I just, whatever. I just didn't realize it.
That's yesterday's new, Melissa. We're worried about tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I was
just
just
let
wasn't
everyone
sure.
stew over it over Facebook. I just let all the comments go and let them stew
Yikes,
over
I
it.
know.
I wasn't
And
gonna.
Ed, last meeting's Chief Jones did refer to you guys as special officers. So
No, what? I just said, I hope nobody starts calling me special ed. Yes, we're special officers. We're very special.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
All
Well, my
right,
name
so-
is Edward.
Melissa, did you have anything else you wanted to add under beaches?
No,
And I have a
I'm
little laughter.
Just a note from Chief Jones that he passed along. So we had security systems that the town council approved the funding for at both Foglin and at Town Farm. So this will kind of bridge that gap
Awesome.
on the schedule. He's working on they're trying to run power to the guardhouse at Fogland to be able to
Yep.
mount one of the cameras. They need to get National Grid involved. And they're also working on Town Farm and getting those cameras in place. His goal is to have them all installed by the end of the month. But he wanted to stress that there are increased patrols in the meantime to bridge
Mhm.
that gap. So it's
Yes.
good. I think we're going to be in a really good place. I'm psyched to have those cameras added, but they're
Yep.
definitely monitoring things in the meantime.
Also, Phil, Jesus Christ. Stu, I wanted to mention this to you. The couple right on the corner of 310.
Ed, we're losing you. Did everybody else lose Ed?
I did. I'm glad you said something because usually I think it's just me.
No. He did look
Like,
he
is
was
anybody
awesome.
else moving?
No,
Ed froze.
Well, we'll give him a minute and see if he chimes back in. So if he thinks of it, we'll add him back to the discussion. So I don't know anything else on beaches. Summer camp, I do have to say I'm psyched that we're able to do an online registration this year, but I also want to say thank you to Rachel and Dana for helping spearhead the in-person registration. Appreciate you guys coming out on Sunday. And want to give a formal congratulations to the Women's Softball League for kicking off their inaugural season on Sunday. If anybody had a chance to watch them, it was really cool.
It was cool.
And I'm
And
pretty
Katie
sure
was there too.
they're going to strike me out no matter, like they're pretty good. Not going to lie. So, and it was slow pitch, which is really sad on my part, but they were awesome. It was really cool to watch.
Yeah, I would agree. It was, as much as I was not facing the right direction to really watch the play-by-play action, just hearing all of the, the activity and turning around when you heard the crowd sort of roar. I mean, it really was pretty cool to watch the women playing while their husbands and significant others and children are cheering them on from the sidelines. It's definitely a reverse situation from what we've seen all these years. And it certainly seemed like a lot of fun. So I'd agree. Anyone who can swing by and watch one of those softball games, you'll have a good time.
They've got 4 teams and they play at Balgamarsh every Sunday. So very cool. Early game and a late game. Okay, so under Town Farm Renovation Committee, thank you to those of you that came out on Sunday to see us open up the playground. It was super cool. That was phase 1 of our project. One of the very nice things was that Representative Edwards presented a check to us, a legislative grant for $5,000 towards the project, which was very appreciated. We're turning our attention immediately to phase 2 of the project, which is the outdoor fitness park, which we're hoping to have completed sort of in the fall if we can, weather permitting. Otherwise, it'll be in the spring. So trying to get that part done. But it was a cool event. It was a lot of fun. The dog park committee only wanted me to note that they are looking for a landscape construction business or a landscape architect to help them, I think, with clear cutting. It was Dave Paul's report. He just said that they were looking for somebody. I don't know all the details, but I would encourage anybody who's listening and is interested to get in touch with them directly. And then the third piece on here, which is a working groups report, is fall events. We mentioned at our last meeting that we wanted to put this on our radar. So I'm putting it on our radar. I'm wondering if we should put some action items together between now and the next meeting in August. And if there's anybody that could help spearhead, we've got trunk or treat, and then we also have the holiday
Tree
festival, tree lighting. And there's a lot of different options for where we can put them, everything from back to where we've been to connecting with Longplex to see if there's an interest, all sorts of pieces. But are there any folks on the commission that can take on looking at, let's start with trunk or treat?
I'll help.
Yeah. Be happy to work with you, Dana.
Cool. Awesome. So go forth.
I'm sorry, excuse me 1 second. That was Ed that just called me, and he can't get back in, but he can hear us.
I'm not sure why. He's not in the waiting room.
No, I think it's something on with his internet.
Yeah. Hi, Ed.
I offered to put him on speakerphone, and he said no.
I'll text us if something comes up, I'm sure. Cool. So thank you, the two of you guys, for managing that. The tree lighting, again, we've only got a couple of commission members here. I don't know if you guys want to tag team that as well, or if Chris, if you have an interest in being involved.
Yeah, I'd be happy to work on that. Absolutely. Love the tree lighting.
Does anybody have the information on the Santa that we've used? That got Doug.
I have
Is that his name, Doug?
Doug DeMarco.
On Santa. I'm sorry.
Santa DeMarco. I have his contact information.
I'm just thinking that if the sooner we can book him,
Yeah,
probably the better.
and we'll throw a date out there. Maybe right now.
It's usually
never
that
too early, right?
Yeah, it's usually that first Saturday in December, and we
Yep. Which would be the 4th.
yeah, we tag team. It's usually the same day as Fall River does a children's parade, so the Tiverton band comes over after that.
Right. Yeah, I'll take care of the band. Rachel, if you want to shoot me the Santa's name, I'd be happy to call him.
Will do, absolutely.
Yeah. And that'll be December 4th.
So if I can ask all of you, prior to our next meeting, if you can send me some pre-read stuff for us to include in the packet, just a quick update of, what location are we going to potentially, and if you have dates and times just to start with, so that we can try to have that nailed down before we get to the next meeting. Is that doable?
Absolutely. Yes.
Dana, Rachel?
Yeah, Stu, my thought is that the committee itself probably should weigh in really on where the location is going to be. We've had pros and cons and lively debates about all the different options. So there really is a pro and a con to almost every location. I don't think there's any new ones. We've I think outgrown and decided that the library wasn't really the best or safest place for us. The middle school I thought worked out pretty okay, or certainly better. We contemplated the high school, and then there's Longplex. So I don't really know how to narrow it down, or what the general sentiment is of the group.
I think the last 2 meetings ago, Joe mentioned that he already booked the high school, so that would be available.
I think he booked both. I want to say
He booked 3 schools. He booked Ranger, the high school, and the middle school.
Right. I mean, my opinion is I think we should just go for the high school, keep it as a town event. And if we got it, I think, we've all been talking about that. That just seems like the best location. It's got the most parking. And then, and Chief Jones said, hey, we can have parking or some type of connectivity to the middle school, the spooky walk, some ideas there. So I think, looking at that, but I think if it starts at the high school, that gives us that space we need, that we've had issues with.
Well, maybe one of the things we should do is just do a pro and con list of each location. And
yeah, I think the other 2 basically have parking issues.
it's true.
It's the main thing, we could do it at the middle school again, but if you get the high school, and we were just apprehensive last time using the high school because of the football game potentially being there. And I think if we book it and they've said you're okay, then we probably are not at as much risk as we were last time. Because last time we came into it kind of like late too. We were like, 8 weeks beforehand. So there was a little risk there. That's just my opinion. I think the high school would probably be the way to go. That's all the discussion we had over the last couple of years. That seemed like the preferred larger location.
Mhm.
I agree.
I love the idea of using the high school and the middle school at the same time and utilizing that path. I think that
Yeah.
has the potential to be amazing.
Can you imagine getting that path lit with carved pumpkins, like jack-o'-lantern?
And that's
Right.
I think that's what we should work on is making that link.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could park there and walk the spooky walk one way or the other,
Mhm.
but have the main event at the high school where we can, keep the main parking there,
Yeah,
I did.
last year, maybe it wasn't last year because of COVID, but the year before, I drove through that back path to see if there was any hope of putting cars there, and I just don't think it was wide enough to get a car and, people walking through, but it was a great width if you line it with some sort of jack-o'-lanterns with little battery-powered lights operating them or something, and really
Exactly.
sort of a spooky walk to get from point A to point B.
I think that would be really cool to do. And, that could be something we go to some of the businesses in town, have them sponsor a little couple pumpkins, and then go to the high school, go to the middle school, go to the elementary schools, have everybody carve a pumpkin.
Well, one of the things I kind of envision is having like a tractor with like little hay rides going back and forth between the high school and the middle school.
There you go. I might know where to get pumpkins. I went crazy and planted some pumpkins this year.
Did you?
With all this rain, they're going crazy.
So does this give you enough to go on, Dana and Rachel?
I think so.
Okay. One other comment is Chief Jones kindly texted me while we had this discussion, and he said Chris is right. So the idea of going high school, middle school, or even using like with Ranger as an overflow piece, I think we're all in the right vein for this direction. So
Yeah.
go forth and trunk or treat.
Okay.
Yeah, and ladies, count
Okay.
me in on your team.
Okay,
All
awesome.
right, will do. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
And really likewise for the tree lighting. I've done a lot with that over the years, so I'll be happy to help you. You've
Me too.
You guys are very good with tinsel.
it's the decoration. It's the backdrop for Santa DeMarco there.
Gotta have it. Yeah.
Makes it nice for the photos.
I agree with everything. I'm back.
Hi, Ed. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Special ed is back.
So I had one other question, which I forgot to bring up when we were talking about summer camp, which is Joe had very kindly reserved the Picasset. My question is, in the past, how have we gotten into Picasset if it's raining? Is it just unlocked or?
I believe there's a janitor there.
There
Right,
is.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
So do we just knock on the door and they let us in, or what's the?
Probably good to get a phone number.
It's a secret password and handshake.
I could talk to Joe Perry and ask him what the secret combination is, and I'm sure he would. I mean, I can call Joe right now if you'd like. I'll put it on mute and find out.
No, well, that's fine. And Kate's the one that needs to know. I just want to make sure
Oh,
she
okay.
gets that info.
Okay. It's all
Yeah,
you,
especially
Kate.
with the amount of rain we've been having lately.
Yeah, my understanding is all of the schools are open through the whole summer with a really core limited staff. But not banging on the door. So maybe a phone number would be good for Kate.
Would you? I will volunteer. Well, we'll give Kate Joe Perry's number. How's that? Joe Perry
gonna need it,
knows
Kate.
what's going on. So
Well, and they're going to connect anyway because Kate's having an orientation, I think, for her staff later on this week, and I was going to reach out to Joe to see if he could potentially make it, depending on timing. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Kate, I meant to ask, so you've got some staff. How's that coming along?
Yes, I have 3 camp counselors, and
awesome.
they're all great. They're all very excited to be working on it. All of them have responded to me about making it to the orientation. I think I'm going to have to put it early in the morning just so everyone can make it at the same time. And they all seem pretty comfortable, and they seem to be doing well. I've been connecting with them a lot lately, and they all seem, as I said, very excited and ready to work.
And so, Kate, from a logistic perspective, I guess all 3 of them will be there every day through the entire camp?
Yes. And I've already spoken to them all about that, and they said that they're like ready. And I said, if you have any conflicts, you have to let me know like a week beforehand, just so I can figure something out.
I think you were looking for one more potential one as well. And I know there are a few people that I've talked to that were looking to apply, and I directed them through the personnel board. So I have a feeling at least one more will come up. And the personnel board's been real quick about turning around reviews. So Melissa, you look like you have a question.
I just want to chime in about that. I know we have a mutual employee. So just, you're saying they're full-time. I know she has days on my schedule. So she told me she told you all the days. So I'm just making sure before I get call outs.
I was talking with Emily, and she couldn't make she could only make 2 of the days out of all of July, and I just don't know if that's gonna work. So I want to see if I can find someone that's a little bit more full-time, because I
can talk to you off this too. But if you get stuck too and need people, some of my kids will probably help you out. If you're like looking for people, I'm sure some of mine could help you out too.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Feel free to, I sent you my phone number, so feel free to call me because I could probably send some your way.
Yes, that would be very helpful.
If you need any help, Kate, call on me. The number's at the station. Your father knows how to get a hold of me.
There was one other thing that I kind of forgot about, but then you mentioned toilet seats, but there aren't any portable bathrooms at Picasso right now. So that could be issues with
There is one. When you and I were down there the other day, and I said the
Yes.
same thing, I walked around the corner and there actually was one tucked around. So there is at least one. I want to find out a little bit more about how it got there and make sure it's not going anywhere. But yeah, I didn't see it. You and I both didn't see it when we were down there meeting. And then I looked and I was like, oh, there's a bathroom. So unless it's run away in the meantime.
Is that at Foglin, Stu?
No, so did I say Foglin? I mean at Picasso.
Oh, Picasso. Okay. Yep.
So
Are we thinking of putting Porta John down at well, I don't know. How often are we getting that pumped out near the in Foglin there for the gate attendants?
I think weekly. I think they're either one or 2 times a week. I know Town Farm gets pumped out Thursday, and then I want to say Monday or Tuesday. I feel like Foglin might be on the same schedule.
All right. Well, I just when you're there at night, and obviously you got people there at 8 o'clock, and it seemed like there was a wagon train going there Sunday, and I'm like, ew, that's just me. That's why they have woods. Anyway, okay.
Hopefully they're pumping
Or
out
the ocean.
Monday.
Yeah, so do I. That's why the woods. Okay. Thank you.
Anything else that we need to touch on? Anything else anybody wants to bring up?
What, Stu, with the red light on at Grinnell's, I guess from this point on, when it gets pumped, especially with the busy season, it seems to me like it's once a month.
That's probably right. That's probably right.
Yeah, huh, Chris?
Yeah, that's what we were told, is it would in the summer months, especially with the new bathrooms, everybody going there.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's only 1,000 gallons, I believe it was mentioned, or something like that.
I think it's bigger. I think it's 2,500. It's a big boy, but
yeah, right.
Washing hands and whatnot.
Yep. I also was there today, and again, this is just for the committee, but Phil had changed the petition in the men's room, which sticks out further for the urinals. So this way here, if you're walking by, because it seems like it's an open door policy, that if you're walking by, obviously there's you can't be seen. We'll just word it like that. So just letting you know, that's all.
Yeah, no, good call. Definitely a good call. It was a little exposed there.
Yeah, it was, you picture, mom and daughter walking by, that's all. Enough said.
Glad to do it.
Yep.
And Stu, I just want to say, and I'm sure everybody in the Recreation Committee agrees, awesome job on Town Farm. That is such a huge win for the town and for you and the group over there. That came out so nice. And I think, Ed, you mentioned at the beginning, the kids were like, it was like a Beatles concert. I was free last night. I went by there and there was actually nothing going on. There was just kids there.
Yeah.
Because I went over and I was like, what's going on over there? And the parking lot was full and it was a swarm of kids. It was like bees on honey.
Oh, unbelievable.
My daughter was there today with a friend of hers and actually quite a few friends, a group of them. So yes, I think that's going to see a lot of activity and a great job with that, Stu. What a beautiful playground.
Fantastic job.
And I recommend everybody try the slide.
Get launched.
It's really good.
Chris, is that from experience?
My luck, I'll get slide brains.
Yeah, I had to do it head first,
Oh yeah.
God bless you. No, I will tell a very, very quick vignette and then we'll jump off. But there was a woman at the grand opening who was there with her daughter, who was probably 9 months. And so the daughter is standing at one of the lower pieces, like a musical instrument one. And then it dawned on me that the woman who was there, the mom, was the same woman who we had met with, who actually designed the playground. And so she had been like 2 months or 3 months pregnant when we started. And here she was with her like 9-month-old. So it was kind of cool to see it all come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was psyched. I stood next to her during the presentation talking to her. She was really proud of that.
Yeah. No, they did a great job. So.
What a great thing.
No.
What's the ride, Stu, that all the kids, you put your feet on and it goes down? It starts here and goes down.
Zip line.
Zip line, thank you. I didn't have them as a kid. There must have been 30 kids waiting on that zip line.
Mm-hmm.
About 20 kids going up and down the slide. I got tired watching them. I'm like, unbelievable. It was just moms sitting alongside the fence with a blanket, having lunch, watching their kids. It was just unbelievable to see. Awesome.
We are actually putting in Jerome Larkin's son, whose name escaping me at the moment, did an Eagle Scout project, and he built a couple of picnic tables. So we're going to put picnic tables down there for people to sit on either side. So that's going to go in soon. Awesome. But yeah, no, team effort. And Chris, you're part of that committee. Thank you as well. So
great job, Stu.
Making a move. All right, everybody. Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
I entertain a motion to adjourn immediately, if not sooner.
All right, I've got a motion from Ed and a second from Chris.